Hi guys, welcome back. This is Ashley and you're tuning into Case Academy. So this video is really for our new homeschooling families. I know that when we first started homeschool, we felt overwhelmed. We needed guidance and encouragement. And so I wanted to upload a video to help those of you who are just starting out. The first thing I want to say though is we are almost at 100 subscribers. So I wanted to tell you guys thank you so much for all of your support. 100 subscribers may not seem like a lot, but for us, it's a lot. And so we really appreciate all of your support. And when my eldest daughter was like, when we get to 100 subscribers, we should have a party. And I was like, well, maybe when we hit 1,000. So that's our next goal, 1,000. Maybe I should start at 500, but 1,000 would be good. Anyway, thank you for the support. And I just wanted to, again, encourage all of our homeschooling families that are just starting on this journey. Due to current times, I know that some families are feeling like they're forced to homeschool, that they have no choice. They're feeling as though distance learning may not have been working for their family, and so homeschool is the only choice or the only route that they can go at this point. Maybe you just decided you wanted to homeschool because you know deep down that it's best for your family and for your kids, but you're scared and you may feel overwhelmed or hesitant to take that step of faith to say, okay, I'm pulling my kids out of school, or I'm not sending my kids to school, I'm gonna take on their education. And that can be scary, and I get that because we were there a little over a year ago when we made the decision to homeschool. So I wanted to basically share with you guys some of the things that we felt overwhelmed about or afraid about, and what we did to overcome those things, and also some of the things I learned along the way. First and foremost, believe that God gave you your children because he knew that you were more than capable. God gave you everything that you need to teach your children. And so believe in yourself. Don't doubt yourself. You have everything that you need, and whatever you don't have, God will supply it and you can do it. So that's my number one. Believe that you can do it because you can. God gave you your children for a reason and you are more than capable. The next thing is take a step back and remember that this journey is your journey. It's not gonna look like anyone else's. It doesn't have to look like anyone else's. And you can make it what you want it to look like. This is your journey. This is your story. And so don't try to replicate someone else's homeschool style. Don't try to compare yourself, because you know what? Comparing only leads to frustration and feeling like you're not good enough, self-doubt. And so don't compare yourself. This is your story. Your family is different than any other family. You have a different family dynamic. You have different children. You have a different teaching style. They learn differently. So no one's homeschool is going to look the same. So don't try to compare. Okay, the next thing is sit down as a family. And I mentioned this in one of my other videos. Sit down as a family. Talk about it. Talk to your kids. Listen to them. Ask them what they want homeschool to look like. What don't they like? What do they love? Talk about scheduling. Talk about what the structure should be. Talk about curriculum with them. Let them choose some curriculum. Let them be involved in the process, because that is a setup for success, especially if your children feel as though they're involved in the process and the planning. They will be more receptive when you're teaching. That is huge. And I think letting your children have a say and letting your children lead their learning to an extent sets you up for success. Really, it does, because they feel empowered and they feel like they have a say and they feel like they're doing something they love because they chose some of it. Okay, so now I'm gonna share with you some things that were overwhelming or kind of made me hesitant to start homeschool. The first thing was, how are we going to afford it? There's a common perception, or at least I had this perception, that homeschool had to be really expensive. In order to teach your kids, you had to have expensive curriculum, extensive curriculum, and that's just not true. As I researched, I found that homeschool really is what you want it to be You don't have to even use curriculum. You can do it yourself curriculum. You can piecemeal curriculum. You can buy expensive curriculum if you want. There are free curriculum online. You can use YouTube. You can do whatever you want. To start homeschooling, really all you need is a notebook, a pencil, some colored pencils or markers, and that's it. Those are your basics. Your children will learn as long as they have those minimal supplies. They will learn. So homeschool does not have to be expensive. You can budget for it. You can plan to buy certain things every month or every 2 weeks to build up to what you want it to be, but you don't need a whole bunch of stuff or supplies or curriculum to start homeschool. You can start homeschool with a notebook, a pencil, and some markers. So just keep that in mind. It doesn't have to be an expensive thing. And again, like I said, you can build up, you can budget for it. Maybe every 2 weeks you spend $20 on something you really want to incorporate into your homeschool. And that's as simple as that. So the next thing is, how will we homeschool and work? That was probably my biggest question because my husband and I both work. I work about 34 or 35 hours a week, and he works full time in ministry. And so that was our biggest question. How are we going to do this and work? And so what we did was we teamed up, we brainstormed, and I initially came up with a schedule, but we did work together to figure out how it was going to work. And like I said, every family is different. So for us, I work certain days of the week and I'm off certain days of the week. So on the days that I'm off, I school. And when I'm working, he's off and he does school. And if I have to pick up anything in the evenings because he wasn't able to, I can do that. You don't have to be a stay-at-home mom or dad to homeschool. You can work homeschool around your work schedule. So if it's something that you really want to do, you can make it work. So you just need to sit down with your spouse or with your children and plan a schedule that will work for you around your work schedule and around your children's extracurricular activities, etc. So homeschool is possible if you work. So don't think that you can't do it because you don't have a full day to homeschool. Something to remember is that homeschool doesn't take all day and you don't have to do every subject every day. You can spread it out throughout the week. You can homeschool 7 days a week. You can homeschool 4 days a week. It really does depend on what you want, what works for your family, and your work schedule if you work. Next, I have, what if I can't teach my kids? Meaning, what if I don't know how to do it? What if I'm not smart enough? What if I don't have experience with a certain subject or topic? That is a myth. You do not need to know it all to homeschool. Curriculum nowadays gives you everything you need to homeschool your children, to teach your children. A lot of the time you're learning alongside them. There are teachers' guides. A lot of homeschool curriculum there that are open and go tell you exactly what to say. And of course you can change that up, but you have a guide. You don't need to know it all. So don't think that you can't teach them just because you're not an expert at a subject, or you don't have a degree, or you've never taught a subject, etc. You can do it. Doesn't matter. Here is a popular one, curriculum. There are so many curriculums out there. Where do I start? How do I find the one that fits my family and my children? Do I spend a lot? Do I not? Do I get open and go? Do I get a Charlotte Mason style? Do I get one that follows Common Core? Do I get different curriculum from different companies, or do I stick with one? There are so many options, and let me just say, you can do whatever you want. You can piecemeal your curriculum. You can use one curriculum for all subjects. You can get open and go curriculum where you have very little preparation. You just open the book and everything's right there for you. Or you can get curriculum that has several different books like handwriting, reading, phonics, teacher's guides, reviews, etc. There are so many options. And I would say start simple, okay? It can be overwhelming to look at everything that's out there and think, man, where am I going to start? what's best for my family. My suggestion, if you are new to homeschool and you haven't tried a curriculum, is start very simple. The other recommendation I have is to look at other homeschool moms and get their review on curriculums they've tried. Not to say that it's going to look exactly the same for your family, but at least you'll have an idea of what that curriculum is about. What is the teaching style? What does it look like for every lesson? I would say that's the best way to go. That's what I did. I looked at a lot of reviews online of other homeschool moms and families that have used curriculum and basically looked at their feedback and what they thought about it. And so that's how I chose my curriculum. And I did have in mind what I wanted. I wanted open and go because I don't have a lot of time to prepare. And I wanted Christian curriculum that was that intertwined a Christian worldview into every lesson, or into every subject, I should say. And I wanted to keep it simple. I wanted to be able to use the least amount of books and still cover every subject. And so that is why I chose the curriculum that I chose. I chose The Good and the Beautiful and Master Books. I used both of those, and I will be posting videos about the different curriculum that I use in more depth in other videos. But yes, so that's what I did. But I would just suggest starting simple, watching other videos and reviews on curriculum, and really just have in mind what you want. Do you want to have to do a lot of preparation? Do you want just open and go where you can hop in the car, give your kid a book and say, okay, do this, you can read this independently and do this on your own? Do you want it to be more hands-on? So look at curriculum, research curriculum, but don't make it too complicated. Keep it simple at first. And then as you progress on your homeschool journey, you can start adding things as you get a feel for your child's learning style, your schedule kind of gets comfortable, and you guys adapt to, the dynamic and the new structure of homeschool. You can start adding more things, but I would say at first, just start simple. All right, the next thing is replicating public school. Whether you have kids in public school or not, whether you're pulling your kids out of public school or your kids are just going into school and you've decided to homeschool instead, do not try to replicate public school at home. It does not work. It's not going to work well, okay? You can try it, but more than likely it will be stressful. A school setting is not meant to be brought into the home, and I've mentioned this in other videos. So what I would say is if you have a child in public school and you're pulling them out, give them time to transition to homeschool. They need time to learn how to learn at home, how to adapt to this new environment of learning. Usually they're in a class of about 24 students. They have one teacher for 24 students. Public schools teach to a common denominator. So they are used to a big classroom setting with lots of distraction. They don't get one-on-one teaching. At home, they're with mom and dad. They're getting normally one-on-one. If you have multiple kids, maybe up to 6 kids nowadays, but definitely not 24. So they have to get used to it. So don't push them too hard at first. Give them some time to get used to it. Maybe even give them a break. Don't push the curriculum on them too soon. Ease them into it. Let them explore. Let them find what they love and let them explore that, because then they will develop a love for learning because they're doing what they love. And then slowly introduce structure, slowly introduce more subjects, and then eventually they'll fall into the flow of things and everything will run smoothly. And it's not always easy. We know that anything with children has obstacles and brings challenges, but it will be a smoother transition if you really give them some time to get used to homeschool, okay? We need to really allow our children to explore what they love, lead their learning, and really give them a chance to just dive into something that they love. I think with public school, that what I've noticed with my eldest daughter is that they go through subjects so quickly, they're never really able to really dive into something that they really, really love, or even have a chance to love something, because they're always moving on to something new. And so I think we need to stop the race and really just allow our children to kind of mellow, I don't know what the word is, but sit in something that they love. So that's my other piece of advice as it pertains to transitioning your child to a homeschool setting. If you see that they are getting bored quickly, take a step back and reevaluate the curriculum. It could be that they are more advanced, or they excel in something, and what they're learning or what they're being taught in the curriculum is not enough for them. Maybe they need more. It could be that it's too advanced for them. Maybe their grade level is grade 5 and they're really reading at a 4th grade level. And that's okay. It's okay. And that's the flexibility you have and the freedom you have with homeschool. You can really adapt the curriculum to your child's learning ability. So if they are behind in something, go down a grade. If they are excelling in something, go up a grade. That is the beauty of homeschool, when you have that freedom and you guys can learn together in things that your child loves. And it doesn't have to be this dreadful thing of, oh my gosh, we have to do language arts, math, science, history, Bible, and handwriting and typing. It doesn't have to be that. I mean, it could be that some days if they're up for it, and other days, maybe we just go on a nature walk. So just remember, don't box yourself in. This is a journey that you're going to be on for a lifetime. Your kid is going to learn no matter what. Life is going to teach your child everything they need to know, with a little assistance, of course, from mom and dad. But don't worry. Take the stress off. Don't worry. Your child is going to be fine. So with all that being said, trust God. Go with the flow. Don't stress. Your children are going to be just fine. You are more than capable of teaching them. You can do this. I did it. I overcame all of my anxieties and fears and my overwhelming thoughts and feelings towards homeschool. I have a family of 4. I work. We are not rich, and we made it work. And my children are the proof in the pudding. They are thriving. They love homeschool, and we're having fun doing it. We are more free than we've ever been as far as school goes, and I wouldn't change anything. And can you imagine? I was someone who never wanted to homeschool, and now I can't imagine doing anything different. And so, again, this was just to encourage you. I hope this video helped. If you are a homeschooling family and you have any other advice for your fellow homeschoolers, leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like my video, subscribe, and turn your bell notifications on so you know when we upload new content. And again, thanks for watching. See you guys next time.